Leguano are really big in Germany. They've got approaching 100 stores now, but they had no outlet in Ireland or the UK. Really high protein, low carb pasta. Somebody said, how do they do that? And I said, it's got to be magic. Two really good products that instill passion in people. That's come through with the people that we've used. I think it will continue to grow.
Welcome to another episode of The Sit Down, a podcast that explores the mindset, the motivations, and the opinions of elite athletes and brands represented by Sport Endorse. I'm Manav Bhatia, and today we're going to be chatting with multifaceted entrepreneur Kevin Griffiths. Kevin is founder at Leguano Ireland, sportyfood.ie, and sportstore.ie. Kevin is an avid runner, a fitness enthusiast, and author of several management books. In the last few months, we've worked with Kevin on establishing a notable footprint for his brands in the Irish and UK markets. Let's find out how his experience has been so far. Hi, Kevin. Welcome to our show.
Hi, Manav. I love the intro. I feel really important now.
Oh, you absolutely are for Sport Endorse. We are delighted to have you on the show today.
It's great. It's nice to talk to you.
Brilliant. Are you having a good morning so far?
Yeah, I'm actually. It's Good Friday. I'm sort of based at home, so I'm looking out of the window at the sunshine in the Mayo countryside. So I'm going to take it easy today.
Fabulous plans. So while doing my research, I found that you are no stranger to the world of broadcasting. And in fact, you've been a station manager at Clare Morris Community Radio in Mayo for many years in the past.
Yeah, I originally came to Ireland about, must be 13, 14 years ago. And I've always had a background in media and PR and sort of general management. And I came across this job in community radio. And community radio is a little bit different to that commercial sound that you get. It's more about empowering people to share their voice, to develop their own views and give them a platform to do that. So community radio seemed a natural way to sort of fit in with some of my beliefs. And it was a great experience.
That's lovely. Are you also into podcasts? Podcasts are known as the internet radio nowadays. So what's your take on podcasts?
Yeah, I think they're great. I think anything that gives somebody a voice is really important. We're bombarded by large commercial media outlets, and it kind of drowns the individual's voice. And I'm really passionate that people get the opportunity to share their views and their feelings and their experiences. And community radio really, really does that. And podcasts also are just a platform that anybody can now fire up their laptop and make a statement. And I think that's good. I mean, there are some crazy statements, but I think generally it's an empowering medium for people.
Brilliant, brilliant. So I'd like to now get started around the questions I had in mind, Kevin. When you first signed up to our platform, we were very intrigued by the innovative products that you were offering in the market. Will you like to tell us about them?
Well, like most of these things, they come about through strange connections. Leguano came to me about 18 months ago, and it was quite a strange route. My wife's uncle, who lives in Germany, sent a few pairs over to us, and I tried them on and just felt so liberated. It was an amazing experience, and I'd always been running on and off, but again, like a lot of people, ended up with little injuries and niggles, and you stop running, and getting the motivation to start again is always difficult, and I'm really prone to that, I think. But these shoes, when I wore them, they were just so comfortable and so liberating that I started to look into the whole idea of barefoot shoes and barefoot running, and discovered that there was a lot of research, particularly coming out of Harvard University, that said that this was a good way to run, and that how it if you transition properly, you can reduce the amount of injuries that you have. I kind of got into it that way, and then I realized that Leguano are really big in Germany. They've got approaching 100 stores now, but they had no outlet in Ireland or the UK. So the kind of entrepreneur, the let's give it a go side of me, called them and said, look, I have an idea, and I'd like to be able to distribute to Ireland and the UK. And that was 18 months ago. And we started with the online store. And there were big plans to go out to various trade shows and exhibitions. And then obviously COVID came along, which put all that on the back burner. But we've got a very positive response to the shoe, and people love them. Once you put them on, there's no going back.
That's very interesting how you picked up these trends. You're a trend spotter. You found that there is this study which says there are clear benefits of walking barefoot, and you forayed into Leguano, and similarly, even with your other business, which is Sporty Foods, they are also a new concept in the market. Would you want to tell us about Sporty Food as well?
Yeah, Sporty Foods came to me through a website that I have called sportstore.ie, and they were looking for some distribution. And do you know, it kind of made sense that a food range that becomes part of your daily routine, that it's not separate from your other nutrition when you're training, that you can have the croissant in the morning and it's just a normal breakfast. You haven't got all those potions and powders to go through. You can just eat a biscuit, that'll have those supplements and nutrients that you need when you're training, and not be bound by the constraints of some of the other supplements that are around. So, and it's great things like pasta, really high protein, low carb pasta. Somebody said, how do they do that? And I said, it's got to be magic. It's great stuff that you just incorporate into your everyday life.
That's again very interesting, Kevin. Next, I'd like to ask you. So you told us that you've recently got into these businesses not too long back. I'd like to know what your how you really stumbled upon the Sport Endorse platform. What made you sign up? Because you've got these new businesses and you're looking for a market out there. So what made you really sign up to the Sport Endorse platform?
Well, I'd been toying with the idea of venturing into sort of influencer promotion, and it was really difficult for me to kind of identify the people that would be suitable. And I think from one of your founders, Trevor, called me one day and said, "Look, have you heard about us?" And actually, no, I haven't. But I checked you out, and I it was one of those moments where you know, like spotting Leguano, spotting Sporty Food, you know that it's something that is going to work and it's right. And what I liked was not just focusing on athletes that have 20 or 30,000 followers plus, but some of the athletes that are emerging into the marketplace that have 1,000 followers that are working really, really hard to develop their athletic careers. And this is a way in which they can help themselves get some support and some financial help, because it's tough out there. And I really like the way that you sort of empower people to take up that mantle and to say, look, I am an athlete, I am training, I'm out there 6-7 days a week, working my bits off, and this is just a way in which I can sort of supplement that training and get some sort of traction on what I'm doing. So I think it's great. I think you guys have hit on something that will help brands like mine in particular that don't have the massive resources of the major sort of sports people to start to get traction and develop what we do. So hats off. Well done.
No, it's fascinating you say that, because we're trying to really serve the market of the 95% of the athletes that are not really served? Because we know typically that it's only the very big names that actually get those lucrative sponsorships in the market, and a bulk of these athletes that put their heart and soul and their blood and sweat every day into training are actually ignored. And that's why this is really brought to the public, so that brands, private companies can actually join the journey and support these athletes. So
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and it goes back a little bit to what we were talking about earlier when I was talking about community radio and broadcasting and giving people a voice. It's another way of giving those hardworking athletes a voice to spread the word and make themselves known in the world of athletics. So yeah, it's about giving people a voice, I think, and I think that's good.
are you personally also passionate about sports, Kevin?
Well, yeah. I like running. I run, and last year I kind of set myself a target that I was 59 last year, and I really wanted to run a half marathon. So that was my goal, and I managed to achieve that. Some would say it's not a real half marathon unless it's actually a formal race, but I went out and I ran my 22K, and I did it barefoot, and I was really chuffed. Recently, since we moved to Ireland, one of my daughters was very much into athletics, and she's an All Ireland medal winner in 60 meters and in long jump. So I kind of got into that, the daddy taxi thing of running them around to various events and things, and being at Athlone and for the All Ireland finals, and at Tullamore for the outdoors. So I've kind of been involved in it a little bit.
I see.
But I suppose more an armchair sports person myself, but I enjoy running, and I find it liberating, and it's good for me. It's good for me.
Now, congrats on making it through to the half marathon. 22 kilometers, for an individual at any age is a big feat. So well done on that, Kevin. For sure.
Yeah, it was good. It's good. Maybe I should head for the marathon next time.
Yes, that's actually something also which I have actually planned for, because I've yet not done more than half a marathon. So just running for 4 hours is something you have to kind of work on your mindset for more than the physical side.
Yeah, I think the physical side, there's that you get to a certain point where you just can keep running, but keeping your head in the right space, I think is always. I mean, I listen to audio books, and that sometimes sort of just gets me carried away and just in the moment, and then other times it's good for work as well, because you can run, and I can plan and have some of my most creative ideas while I'm sort of running up a hill, trying not to feel the pain too much.
I'm of the same opinion, Kevin. I myself feel running is more like a meditation, where things suddenly become clear. So we were talking about the mindset that goes into when you're running, and athletes themselves have a very strong mindset. I want to know that what has been the benefits that you've really received since you've signed up sporting athletes on the Sport Endorse platform?
We certainly, I mean, we used, we ran a couple of competitions with you, which got some very, very good traction. What really attracts me to it is how the athletes have engaged with the product, which has been really good. Now, from a business point of view, you need to say, well, does this pay off? And I think it's early days yet, but the feeling that I'm getting from people that are communicating with us is that they are aware of the brands, and it will grow. So, we're going to continue doing it to the point where we're going to move some of the Google budget over to Sport Endorse and develop our relationship that way, and see if we can grow in a more creative way, I think, and a more humanistic way with some of the athletes.
Okay. Next, I'd like to ask you what you think an elite athlete brings to the table for a brand manager's campaign, over the other influencers you find in the market, the models and those celebrities? What do you think the elite athletes offer extra or different, really?
I think with my products, they offer understanding and passion. I mean, when you're an athlete, if you can find a way to reduce your injuries during your training sessions, and Leguano shoes, you transition to Leguano and you reduce your risk of injury, you improve your balance, your body changes its position and becomes more efficient. You recognize that passion and you're prepared to spread the word. So the benefits it's a win-win scenario, because the athlete will get the physical benefits from the relationship, and also being associated with a premium brand is something that just furthers their career as well.
No, that's a very good point. And that's why the athletes really apply with serious cover letters on the platform, with a serious reason why they want to associate with these premium brands, so that they themselves reap the benefits of associating with these brands.
Yeah, it has to be a two-way thing. I mean,
yes.
At the end of the day, we'll give it 6 months and we'll sit down and we'll sort of evaluate the expenditure against the profit and see what our return of investment is. But there's a bigger thing than that, and it is that supporting new athletes in a very competitive market, and they need it.
So, talking about that bigger thing which you just mentioned, now we have the Olympics so far still going ahead this year. There are some Irish athletes that have qualified and are going to be going there all on their expense. And these are the athletes from the more non-commercial sports, so less mainstream, like canoeing and martial arts and archery. And the government doesn't have the budget, unfortunately, because they're limited, and also because they've allocated most of their budget to the prime time sports. Do you think that these athletes, these Olympic going athletes, deserve to be backed by private companies?
I think it's obviously it's a very complex issue, but I would say if you are going to represent your country, then it should be up to your country to support you in doing that. If you've qualified for the Olympics, then there should be a mechanism of funding you to get out there and to perform your best without the worries of the financial burdens that come with it. And whether that's done with government grants or big business supporting people, maybe even looking at if a company sponsors an individual sports person, that is then matched by government funding. And we always hear from governments that there's no money, but I mean, that's just the standard cry. And there is funding that I'm sure could be sought from areas to enable that. And if you look at somebody goes out and is successful, then the media are on top of it and how wonderful is it. But how many people go and they don't get that gold medal and they still put their best into it, and they're pushed to the sidelines by the media because they haven't performed a way that the media feels that there's a story there. So people need to be supported in what they're doing, and how that is structured obviously is a debate probably for other people, but I'm quite happy to put my little bit in there. But for somebody like Leguano Ireland and Food for Sport, which distributes the sporty food range, we can't finance people to that extent, but we can support them, along the way in some way. And yeah, maybe it is up to some of the bigger companies to stand up and say, well, look, okay, the return on investment from supporting these people may not be a favorable bottom line, but we are making a contribution to how the nation is supported and allowing us to perform and get more athletes out there, because I'm sure there are going to be people that can't actually get out there that would qualify unless they're putting themselves through some amazing sacrifices. And people will do that. Going to the Olympics is a big thing, and people will pull all the stops out, but it does put a financial burden on them. So come on, big guys, cough up.
So I want to ask you next about, so Sport Endorse represents over 700 elite athletes across 55 sports. I want to ask you, as someone who's registered on the platform, your experience of how searching and selecting and then finally securing these athletes is on the platform.
Well, it's pretty straightforward. I think, as you develop, there'll be other little tweaks and things. But the thing that I really found was that people were applying for those opportunities and writing to me and showing me real passion. And it was easy to communicate with them and to finally make a choice of which ones to go for. And in a sense, it was a little bit like, the talent shows you see on TV. You've got to choose one. And really, 2 or 3 of them were highly compatible, but you just had to end up picking one. So it does give you an opportunity to get to know people and to sort of put people in the pipeline as well. So, I've got my eye on a few people that I'll be sort of reaching out to in the next few opportunities to sort of come on board. But as a system, I think it works well. We're able to communicate and see. And I know, talking to you and Trevor, the plans to develop the site and enhance it will just go to making that a lot easier for everybody.
Now, Kevin, you managed to secure some brand ambassadors for Leguano Ireland and Sporty Food Ireland on the platform. Could you tell us how they fared post you brought them on, and did their bit on social media for your brands?
Yeah, I mean, they've all been very, very positive and very passionate about the product, and I think that's the great thing is that they're looking for development, looking for relationships that enhance their training. So, like I said, the communication's good, the posts are good, and they've all gone above and beyond what was expected in the first place. So I'm really pleased, and we'll probably continue those relationships. We set out the brand ambassador piece to just start the ball rolling, and I think with their passion and with their commitment, we can make it develop further, and of course they get those financial rewards that help feed them, although they get Sportify food as well, so that keeps them going.
Absolutely. They not only receive payment for the services, but also the product itself to kind of evaluate, to kind of test firsthand, which is a double bonanza for them, really. So
yeah, it is, and it works for us as well, because if somebody doesn't like the product, then they're not going to promote it very well, or they're not going to show the passion that they have for it. And I think we've got 2 really good products that instill passion in people, and that's come through with the people that we've used, and I think it will continue to grow. I mean, we're launching a new app for the Sporty Food range, so it just becomes so much easier to order now. You have to go online through your web browser and order, but we'll have an app, and those guys will work on that with us as well to make sure that we get it right and make it easy for people to order their sporty food.
So in terms of getting the bang for your buck, and in terms of setting the budget, unlike what is regularly the practice in the market where there's an agent you have to go through, can you tell us about how securing an athlete basis the budget you have in mind works on the platform?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I set the budget. I know what my marketing budgets are. I can define something on the opportunity on the site, and somebody will either accept that or not. And if they accept it, then we develop a relationship. And if they don't, then we don't progress any further. It's a good way, and it's a clear way of developing a relationship with somebody when you've got that transparency. Before I came across Sport Endorse, I did contact a few influencers, and there was what I saw as being a quite unrealistic expectation in terms of what people wanted paying for doing endorsements and working out. But Sport Endorse has really, I think, defined the reality of the environment, and that's really, really good.
So what is the takeaway you'd like to give other brands considering joining the Sport Endorse platform?
I think if you look at your marketing and you can really define a synergy between yourselves and the athletes, then you're onto a winner. Brand awareness advertising and marketing is sometimes a difficult thing to comprehend, in the sense that most people are looking for a financial return. If we're doing sales marketing, we can check that sales marketing is working, because we do the marketing, sales increase, it's working. It doesn't increase, it's not working. So we can iterate that and change it so it does work. With brand awareness, it's a little bit different, because you're dropping something into the psyche of your target market, and it takes time for that to manifest itself through to your sales. But it's well worth doing. I mean, just mentioning Leguano to people these days, or barefoot shoes, more and more people are becoming familiar with what it is. But it takes that sort of market penetration of awareness marketing before it really pays off. So I would say, guys, if you're looking for sales, it's probably not the most lucrative way of doing it. But if you're about developing a brand, developing a position in terms of supporting people and being part of the community, I think it'll pay off in the long term really, really well.
Okay. This has been fantastic. Just before we go, I'd like to ask you, to tell our listeners more information on how they can access the brands that you're associated with, if there's a website or an Instagram account they should follow to get more information.
Yeah, well, I mean, the website for Leguano is pretty simple. It's leguano.ie, and that's leguano.ie. And for sporty food, it's foodforsport.ie. It's really simple. And then there are links to all our social media accounts on those sites. Sign up for the newsletters. Let us know what you think. Share ideas with us. We're open to dialogue.
That's all for this week, folks. Thanks once again to Kevin and all those that are downloading and listening to the sit down. We truly appreciate your support. If you're interested in partnering with any of our talent, you can sign up as a brand on platform.sportendorse.com. Follow Sport Endorse on social media to get latest company updates, and until next time, take care.